How much equity did you lose last month? Well, I'm Jim with the Bishop team, bringing you our August housing update for South Orange County so you know what's going on. In this first slide, you see the number of homes that have come on the market or listed in July. So in 2025, there were 13% more homes that came on the market. So more supply coming on, still down 30% from 2019. So not as many we've seen in the past, but definitely more than we've seen in the last couple of years. Here you see the number of homes that have come on the market year to date. So 2025 up 21% compared to last year, but still down 30% from 2019. So again, same general trend, more homes coming on the market the last couple of years, but not as much as we've had historically. That's on the supply side. So here's the number of homes for sale, not only what's come on the market, but what's still on the market. And this number is even higher, 66% more homes for sale compared to last year at this time, and down about 32% from 2019. You'll also note that there are more homes for sale beginning of August than the last 5 years, going back to 2020. So this is a different way of looking at that same data. You can see the black line is homes for sale this year, higher than it's been going back to 2019, which is the blue line. More homes for sale this year, except for back to 2019. So bottom line, our supply is higher and it's trending higher as well. So now let's look at demand. This is the number of homes in escrow. As you can see at the beginning of August, we're actually up 1% compared to this time last year, but down 48% compared to 2019. So while we're up a little bit, we're still down fairly significantly from historic levels going back a few years. The other thing you'll note is those numbers the last 3 years are pretty close. So fairly stable demand. Remember, supply is rising, demand is stable. So this shows the trend throughout the year. Again, black is 2025, and you can see it's pretty much very close to where we were last year. The red line, 2024, pretty much all-time lows measuring demand month by month. So this looks at blue supply and red demand next to each other. And you can see like the last couple of years, while demand is the same, the supply has changed, which is going to affect the supply and demand dynamic, affecting pricing. We'll get to that in a second. So July sales, you can see, was down 6% compared to last year. But if you looked compared to 2019, it's down significantly, down 37% from closings back in 2019. This shows our year-to-date sales. So we're down 5% from last year and 30% from 2019. The last 3 years, closings are very similar. We had strong sales in 21, a little bit weaker in 22, and then kind of bottoming out the last couple of years. So this is our market index. That's the ratio of number of homes for sale versus number of homes in escrow. That black line you can see is trending up. In fact, it's the highest point that we've seen in the last 6-7 years at this time of the year. Blue was 2019, and you can see that came down through the year. We've now gone up above where it was, indicating a slowing market. So that purple line at 0 means you have one home in escrow for every one for sale. If you have more homes in escrow than for sale, you're below the line. If you have more homes for sale than in escrow, you're above the line. A rising line is a slowing market. Either demand is waning, which it's not, or supply is increasing, or a combination thereof. And we've seen that supply is going up, demand is holding steady, so the market is tapping the brakes. So here's our bugaboo. But if you look recently, we're seeing a little progress. This is interest rates. Now, a year ago, we were at 6.3. We're at 6.6 now, but we started the year at 7.25. So we definitely have come down since the beginning of the year. But 6s is still a rate that is constraining the buyer demand. Even if supply's gone up, as you saw, demand is held steady. mostly constricted by this. Pricing of homes has factored into it, but if someone wants to buy a house and they can afford X and that gets you a little bit less house, normally a buyer is still going to move forward. But this is putting a constraint on the buyer on their ability to buy a home, especially if their monthly payment is going to double from maybe their monthly rent. This is the culprit. So how does all of that translate into pricing? Well, here is our price trend, and this is dollar per square foot basis for South Orange County. And you can see we've pretty much leveled off. As supply went up and demand held steady, that put a cap on appreciation. So that being said, depending on what you look at, we went down about 1% last month. We're up 3% compared to this time last year. We're about even year to date and down about 3% from the peak back last year. So everybody always asks, hey Jim, are we up, are we down? The answer is yes, we're up, we're down from the peak, we're up from last year, we're down from last month. You know, it depends on how you slice it. That's why you have to really dive into what people are talking about to understand how that impacts you and your desire to either sell a home, buy a home, finance, whatever the case may be. We're here to help you navigate the market, whatever it's doing. We've been doing this since 2002, helping people navigate the ups, the downs, and the sideways markets. We're helping you make the right move in real estate. We'd ask that you please subscribe to get updates like this on the market and other things going on, whether it's our opportunities for new listings, buyers that we're trying to help find a home for, or educational things about your home. If you have specific questions about where you live now or where you want to live, give us a call. That's what we're here for. I'm Jim with the Bishop team, your leading realtors here in Orange County, California.